RSV, the respiratory virus, is not unusual this time of year. It's the number of cases that is overwhelming doctors.
Children's Hospital Colorado says their emergency departments and most of their inpatient units have been full every day recently. 9 News reporter Luis De Leon explains how they and other hospitals are handling this demand.
The number of beds available at Children's Hospital Colorado fluctuates constantly. But right now, a spokesperson tells us that all locations within their systems are seeing emergency department and inpatient volumes that they've never seen before. It's led to them having to postpone some procedures and reschedule admissions that are not considered emergencies so that they can focus on those who have one. And that means increasing staff throughout the system. RSV is playing a role in hospital capacity across the state, according to the State Health Department. 367 hospitalizations across the state since October 1st.
That threshold changes daily and sometimes hour to hour because of demand versus supply. And
over at Rocky Mountain Hospital for Children in Denver, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Reginald Washington says they're managing, but are seeing a rise in cases.
Well, COVID has taught us a lot on how to deal with these issues.
And that includes planning even farther ahead.
We have meetings several times a day to look at bed capacity. We look at nursing availability, respiratory therapist availability. Well, we've already, for example, looked at the surgery schedule for all of next week. We know what patients will be outpatients versus someone who might have surgery and need a bed overnight or maybe several nights.
And to that end, there's a lot of what the Colorado Hospital Association calls capacity-related levers that hospitals in our state can pull. They learned that, of course, because of the pandemic. That includes, of course, transferring patients to other facilities. Alex, in the case of Children's Hospital, that's something that they say may happen depending on their bed space.
Yeah, you hate to see that, especially as flu season revs up as well, and what we're seeing from new COVID hospitalizations too. Luis, thank you. Let's get to that. COVID hospitalizations rose significantly over the last week for the first time since June. Nearly 220 people are hospitalized tonight, according to the CDPHE. Our positivity rate is also going up. About 10% of tests came back positive last week. More than 5,000 new cases were reported this week, an uptick of about 1,000 from last week.
The number of flu cases is also rising. 25 hospitalizations in Colorado last week. The state's now up to 49 flu hospitalizations since the start of October. The CDC says this flu season seems to be one of the worst in a while. The CDC has recorded 730 flu deaths so far nationwide this year. Tonight, police in Aurora have arrested the brother of the man accused of shooting and killing 4 people at a home in Aurora. Police say that Juan Castorena is facing a charge of accessory to first-degree murder after the fact. He's 18 years old. Police are still looking for his brother, Joseph Castorena. He's wanted in connection with the shooting on October 20th. The reward for information leading to his arrest is $15,000. If you know anything, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers.
13 people had to go to the hospital today after a crash this morning with about 100 cars on one of Denver's busiest roads. One of those people is seriously hurt. The crash happened early this morning on 6th Avenue at Klamath. Black ice turned the road into a skating rink, causing backups and traffic problems all morning long. One woman told us her brakes were useless on that ice.
There's a little bit of a hill that you go over. I got to the top of that hill and I could see the pileup down up at the stoplight, but at that point there was nothing I could do. I hit my brakes, I put my car into 4-wheel drive, but there's nothing to stop it.
Denver Fire says they had to use power tools to free people from 5 to 6 cars. The damage was so bad they couldn't open their doors. Cars that couldn't be driven away were towed to Lot C at Empower Field. Insurance companies are about to get a lot of claims after that pileup, but figuring out who's at fault, that can make things even messier. Normally, the driver at fault is on the hook for the repairs, right? But in a messy crash like this one with so many cars, not one driver may be at fault. Colorado has comparative negligence laws, meaning one driver may not be 100% at fault, but it could mean someone is 20 or even 50% at fault.
The at-fault driver is responsible. Unfortunately, in this kind of pileup, determining that's tough. As they do determine fault, your insurance company can help you figure that out and even subrogate.
Anyone involved in a crash like this should be calling their insurance companies right away. They'll cover the costs you have right now, like repairing your smashed up car.
A second delay in a high-profile case. The 5 people arrested in the death of Elijah McClain were supposed to be formally charged today. The judge postponed that arraignment until next year. The defendants are a former Aurora police officer, 2 current officers, and 2 paramedics. They're facing 32 charges, including manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide. A grand jury indicted them last year. McLean died more than 3 years ago. Police had stopped him one night on the way home from a convenience store. He'd done nothing wrong. They put him in a carotid hold, and paramedics injected him with the sedative ketamine. The coroner recently changed the listed cause of McLean's death, now saying that he died from complications from ketamine after forcible restraint. McLean's mother attended the hearing virtually, and she objected to the delay.
The man found guilty of killing a young woman in Denver's Ballpark neighborhood will spend the rest of his life in prison. Today, a judge sentenced Michael Close to life without the possibility of parole. In June 2020, 21-year-old Isabella Thallis and her boyfriend Darian were walking his dog, taking it out to use the bathroom at their apartment. Police say Close was irritated by the way Simon was disciplining his dog. Close then pointed an AK-47 out of his apartment window and shot 24 rounds at the couple. Thallis died from a gunshot wound to the back, and Simon was left with lifelong injuries. While Close will never see the outside of a prison cell, Thallis' dad says it will never take away their grief.
The hurtful piece of what all this is the senseless act. We're able to put this portion behind us, try and start some healing at whatever level that healing might look like.
In addition to his life sentence, Close was ordered to pay more than $37,000 in restitution. To Bella's family, there is still unfinished business. That AK-47 used in her murder belonged to a former Denver police sergeant who said his friend Close stole his weapon. Thousands of guns go missing in Colorado every year, and Bella's mom, Anna, has been fighting unresponsible gun ownership in this state. She lobbied for the Isabella Joy Thallis Act, which requires gun owners now to report lost or stolen guns within 5 days. That first offense is $25 fined, and the second is a misdemeanor with a fine up to $500. Now, Anna doesn't think that common sense gun law goes far enough.
Tax it and register it with the state, and like you would your car. Not only would that bring revenue into our state, but it keeps you accountable and it keeps you for your firearm. And then if there's a change of hands, there's a change of title, right? So then you have a paper trail for that firearm and where it goes.
Anna also thinks Denver Police Department should be held accountable in her daughter's murder for one of their own being irresponsible with a semi-automatic weapon. She is suing DPD in civil court. Avalanche risk is a big concern in Colorado. A new website is helping to assess it.
And after yesterday's snow and today's cold, the big story for tonight and into tomorrow, strong winds. I'll tell you about those coming up in my full forecast.